Hi, this is Nicole, and this is the study guide for METAX 135. Today I'm going to be going over how to stretch out the muscles of the neck, back, and arms that we learned about during lab, and hopefully this will just help you be able to start to gain an understanding of where these muscles are located on your own bodies. So then it'll be easier during tests to actually identify what muscle is what. So all you need is a place to sit, and then we can get started. So first what we're going to do is put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and we're just going to work on doing diaphragm breathing. So this is a really useful technique if you're feeling really, really stressed out or anxious, to just go back to this type of breathing, and it really helps just like calm you down, de-stress. But it also lets us kind of feel like our diaphragm doing its work. So as you breathe, you're just going to take some big inhales and exhales. And when you inhale, you really want to move the lower hand out, and you want to keep this upper hand pretty still. So when you inhale, it goes out, and when you exhale, it goes back in. So you can kind of think of it as pushing breath down into your lungs. That diaphragm moves down, and then when you exhale, that diaphragm's moving back up and pushing the air out. So from the side, this looks like this. Okay, so let's do 3 more breaths this way. Okay, great. Next, we're just going to start to feel out all the different muscles in your neck. So just look straight up at the ceiling and you're going to wiggle it around, and you should be able to feel this big stretch of your platysma running down the entire length of the front of your neck. And then you should also be able to start to feel some stretching of your chin hyaloid bones. So these are your stylo, genio, and mylohyoid bones, or muscles. They're your muscles that are running along the bottom of your chin and attaching to your hyoid bone right there. Then you can start making some circles, neck circles, feeling the different areas of stretching as you go around in the circle. So if you go from the top and start moving over, you should start to feel a stretch over in this from like behind your ear down into the front of your collarbone. That's your sternocleidomastoid mastoid. So you go further down, you might be able to feel a stretch in your levator scapula and your scalene muscles. And then when you're looking all the way down, you can even feel a stretch in your trapezius, which is that large diamond-shaped muscle on your back your splanus capitis, and your semispinalis capitis. And then all along the back side of your neck. And then as you go back up, maybe right before you get to the absolute like top looking up, you can feel a stretch in your neck hyoid bones, or hyoid muscles. So this is your omohyoid, your sternohyoid, and your thyrohyoid, which are going along the front side of your neck. So do a couple more circles each way, feel it out, and then you can bring your chin back up. And what you're going to do is just tuck your chin and then start to reach forward. And this will really help you stretch out all the muscles in your back. So you should be able to feel your trapezius muscles, your serratus posterior superior, in your upper mid back, or the middle of your upper back, and then maybe even your serratus posterior inferior, down in your lower back. And then along your spine, you can really feel a stretch of your erector spinae, which is made up of your ilicostalis, your longissimus, and your spinosum. And as you're out here, you might be able to stretch out side to side, start to feel your latissimus dorsi, maybe your serratus anterior or your intercostals, the spaces in between your ribs. Just stretch out and then come back up to a seated position. Next, you're going to stick one hand out, meet the other hand, grab that hand with your other hand, push the palms of your hand away from you, look down, and really start to feel a stretch of your rhomboid muscles. So as you move your arms up and down, you should be able to feel a stretch. With your hands up, you should be able to feel the stretch of your rhomboid minor. And then as you move your hands down, that lower stretches of your rhomboid major. So play around here for a couple of seconds. Get a feel for those two muscles. And then you can drop your hands, shake it out, shake out your back. Then you're going to take your right hand, put it all the way up towards the ceiling, and then drop your hand down along the back of your spine. And then you can just gently grab your elbow with your left hand and help pull this arm down alongside the back of your, along your back, I guess. And as you do this, you should feel a nice stretch of your tricep muscle, as well as a little bit of your deltoid. And if you're feeling super stretchy today, you can also take your left hand down and around and interlace the fingers like this. And so then you can start to get a stretch of your deltoid on your left side, as well as your pectoralis minor. You might be able to really feel it. Okay, shake out your arms and switch. So arm all the way up, pull it down and back alongside the spine. And then you might want to take your right arm and try and get that bind. I can't actually connect on this side, so you can either grab a t-shirt to try and complete this stretch to really feel it in your triceps, or I can really feel it right now in my pectoralis minor. So yeah, go ahead, shake that out. Next we're gonna do a stretch that will really help us feel our deltoid. So you're gonna take your right hand over across your chest and hold it with your left arm. And really breathe in and breathe out. And you should be able to feel this giant stretch of this big deltoid muscle over the top of your shoulder. This is actually the muscle that, if you got your COVID vaccine, that they shoot the vaccine into. So it's a really nice big muscle. And then if you kind of wiggle around in this position, you should be able to feel your supraspinatus and your infraspinatus as well. So go ahead and switch sides. And as you reach over, really get a big stretch. You can also probably feel your teres major and your teres minor stretching out. Sweet. Wiggle it all out. Next we're going to come to all fours and start to stretch out the muscles of the arms. So if you take your right arm and flip it around back, so you're using your supinator to flip that arm around, and then just do a couple little circles. You can even put most of your weight on your legs, so there's not too much pressure here. And basically what you can do is feel a stretch of your coracobrachialis, your biceps, this lower big muscle in the front of your arm, and maybe even your pronator teres along the thumb side of your arm, by the elbow, and the brachialis, which is going underneath the biceps and more on the pinky side. So you can lay back or sit back, shake out those arms, and then we're going to do the left side. And start doing circles, and in the lower arm, underneath the brachialis, you should feel the brachioradialis, and then on your forearm, feel the flexor carpi radialis by the thumb, the flexor digitorum superficialis, kind of more towards the midline of your forearm, and then the flexor carpi ulnaris over on that pinky side. Okay, sit back, shake it out. Now we're going to start to feel the extensors. So go on the back of your right hand, do some little circles, and be able to try and feel the extensor carpi ulnaris and the extensor digitorum. And then you can switch. And sit back, shake out your arms. Next we're going to go into a child's pose. So bring your toes together, spread your knees out wide, and you're just going to stretch all the way forward. So stay here for a little bit. If you get on your fingertips and push down, you might be able to feel a stretch through your pectoralis major, which goes over top. It's the larger muscle over the top of your pectoralis minor. And then let's go over to the right and really feel a nice big stretch over latissimus dorsi, our external intercostals, our serratus anterior, and maybe even get a stretch again in that serratus posterior inferior, that lower back. Okay, let's go over to the left side. Feel those muscles over on this side of the body. Wiggle through it. And when you're done, you can come back up to a seated position. Woo. Okay, so that's basically it for the muscles of the back, arms, and neck. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and good luck studying.